Welcome back one and all to Riftlab. We've got our second series of the day almost ready to begin. In fact, the players are raring to go right now. So let's jump in and see ourselves something a little familiar and something completely different.
Once again, we're going to see the sets, but this time it is the yellow set that I was talking about with all of the most standard cards like Call of the Glory, Hidden Blades, and then also Sabotage coming in. This time we do have a side deck, and also what's interesting, we do keep Hinara, we do keep Windswept, but also we're going to play Zone Warrens ourselves, so it's an interesting decision for the set. And the standard sideboard of Fioras, Leonas, and Unyielding Spirits for Kaisas, Masteries, and Aris, etc. So we do see a bit more of a standard set, but now, oh, the cherry on the top, the Miss Fortune Dazzling Aurora. I'm really huge fan of this one. Because you could have played Volibear, because Volibear is for gamblers, and Misfortune is for the gamblers for whom Volibear is not enough.
Yeah, it's going to be absolutely fantastic matchup here. As you can see, we've got a pile of amazingly strong creatures. Dazzling Aurora letting us get them for free. And, you know, Soul Gorge, Mind Splitter, all that good stuff as well. We even got Confront making a return from the previous series as well to get those big hitters out early on. But let's get ourselves started here. Tog, our player we've definitely seen multiple times before. It's a multiple-time top 8 player playing from Australia. It's going to be a big ask for Big Ben to pull off this Misfortune deck. But if they manage it, Mosnov, it will be glorious. And
now we can see both of the battlefields that we have already seen in the game before, being, of course, the Obelisk of Power, giving additional rune on the beginning of the game, and Zone Warrens, making you discard one and draw one after conquering. And boy, oh boy, we do see pretty quick start from the set, but also, oh, what a nice start coming from Misfortune, Catalyst and 2. And also, we do see Pack of Wonders, a fantastic card, combing with the Treasure Trove, giving you lots of draw and lots of additional runes.
Yes, as you can see there, be able to bounce cards back to hand. It's fantastic. And as we, on the other side, we do start to see Tog bringing out the early aggression, which we learned to expect from the previous game. The Glory Seeker come out of the field unbuffed. We can see in hand, you mentioned that this is a more standard build of the set, so we've got the cards like the Challenge ready to go as well to hopefully make Tog more proactive when it comes to the actual combat.
We do see a quick conquer coming from Tog. I mean, you have to do this against Misfortune. This is actually one of the decks that you might even... I've heard some ways of playing that you want Misfortune to go first, since she might not have a card ready to play the first turn, but I do think that you still have to go as fast as you can, going first, spamming those units to the battlefield, because if Big Ben is able to put out the Dazzling Aurora, all of the Mind Splitters coming in, it might be too much. Misfortune can be a fantastic deck. The biggest problem of it is that it's a bit of a gamble and that it's not as consistent as some players would want it to be. We can see Tog getting his first points with Cynthia coming to the Zone Warrens. And now the question is, what's next? Because you do have SETT, you do have First Mate, you actually do have a lot. And okay, a Hidden Blade to draw. Okay, that's a very interesting play from Tog. So what basically happened here? Tog used Hidden Blade on his own unit to draw 2 cards, and then used another rune to recycle to save her from dying. Wow. Okay, that was a very interesting play coming from Tog.
Yeah, I mean, if we're talking about Tog being able to get advantage in a way we didn't see in the previous game for SETT, 5 cards in hand. We've now got 2 solid units out on the field. We've got the Glory Seeker on the battlefield, and for Big Ben, I mean, we've got some big cards in hand, but it needs to be happening pretty quickly. We've got Possession just being added onto the field there. But Yeah, I wonder if Big Ben might fall too far behind compared to where they really need to be to not get overrun.
And the biggest problem is that Misfortune needs her whole combo to work. So we do have a Pack of Wonders, but we still need a Treasure Trove. And why is it so important? Because when Treasure Trove leaves the board, you draw one and channel one rune exhausted. And Pack of Wonders makes it unable to return this to your hand without killing it. So you can just recycle it and recycle it and recycle it, as long as you have another Pack of Wonders ready to go. But we do see that actually right now there's not much going on. Big Ben coming with Misfortune, Mind Splitter also being in hands might be a bit helpful, but I still think that it might be not enough here if Tog is able to continue such strong moves coming from his side, especially with 2 sets and first mate in hands.
Going to be accelerated out and making the move out onto the battlefield. So at least be able to get some presence out here, though we can of course see that Tog has a lot ready and raring to go and a lot more left in hand as well. I like it, at least that Big Ben is showing some presence and making sure that at least they don't get completely overwhelmed.
Misfortune coming in. Tog won't be able to do much about it. Now I think he's wondering if he wants to recycle yet another rune to save his units. Because he already used a lot. He recycled one to use Hidden Blade. He recycled another one to save Cynthia. Another one to play SETT from the Champion Zone. And okay, yet another one to do a bit more saving here. It might be a bit of a problem since we do see that sets won't be on the table. Another set, the one that buffs himself.
So
quite interesting spot for the Tog.
Yeah, let's take stock of where we are then as we come around to Tog's turn. We've got a big unit advantage. We've got a lot of cards in hand, but not a lot of points so far for Tog.
Yeah, but I do think that he decided to go with it this way, to spend so much runes on saving units, because he knows that the unit advantage, the fact that he can conquer it all the time, that he has spare units to play with before Big Ben actually comes with anything bigger, is too crucial, and you just cannot give those little tempos to Misfortune, because that's what she's seeking here, because that's what she's about. She wants to stop you for the most time that she possibly can to actually get to those 9, 10, 11, 12 runs, and especially get to this Dazzling Aurora that we are talking about. And also the one other inclusion being the Soul Gorger, that's maybe not the biggest unit since it costs 8 and 2 recycles and it's only 5 might, but it also lets you play another unit from your trash for free.
And I was going to say, I've just saw Matt Bell in the chat. I was like, surely not the Matt Bell. Oh my gosh. Well, I'll come back to Matt later on as certainly a legend of the CCG scene coming in and letting us know that Ben has brought this deck to some pretty dizzying heights, coming in second place in the fight night. So certainly, as we see the fight or flight being used to make sure those things go well down at the Obelisk of Power. Misfortune looks like, I think, will be, I believe, yes, combat tricked, courtesy of the challenge, to make sure this doesn't go awry.
Another point coming for Tog. 4-1. And we do see that Big Ben is in a bit of a trouble. Okay, but we do now see a very good top deck coming from Big Ben. A Deadbloom Predator. And I do think that it might be a tough spot for Tog if Deadbloom actually comes here. But for now, it will be just a confront. And okay, he does have barely enough runes to play in the Mind Splitter. So now Tog has to show his hands. Big Ben is able to choose one card to discard. And I do think it will be one of the sets. And
So,
the biggest
also,
problem is...
was just going to say, based on your kind of feeling now we've had the Mind Splitter coming in, I'm kind of more thinking that maybe the opportunity here for Tog to control this game might well have passed. Do you think this is recoverable?
Oh my gosh, do you see what they've been thrown into? From Zone Warren, discarding, demobilize, and drawing into Dazzling Aurora. If you're not familiar with the cards, it's a gear that you use at the end of your turn, and then you reveal the cards from your deck. As long as you find a unit. And when you find the unit, you just play it for free. And you can find another Mind Splitter, you can find another Dead Bloom, you can find the Volibear, which is huge in this deck. And I will see what Tok can do. The Cynthia is back in the base. If you want to go for another point, you can just give Mind Splitter Gunking from Misfortune's ability to get yet another point. And you can go for Dazzling Aurora. You have exactly 9 runes. You will have 11 next turn. But the problem is that you have 2 Death Blooms already in the hand, but you would have liked them to be in your deck so we can draw into them from Dazzling Aurora.
Yes, it's a little bit unfortunate, as you said. It is very much playing, with hoping that the sequence will end up in your favor. But let's see. So 5 points to 3 in favor of Tog. I mean, things could be more out of control. We've still got a ton of material over on Tog's side, ready to come out and challenge that Mind Splitter. We'll see what Big Ben decides to go for here. Of course, we've got to remember we've still got the possession waiting there in hand to be able to scoop up and make use of one of Tog's units if the situation calls for it. But there we go, the Aurora comes out.
And now it's going. And now since Big Ben does not really have much more options, he will tap the Aurora. I think he's considering going with the Gunking Mind Splitter to get another point. Okay, we're going to play Aurora. Another one, bullet time. We're looking for some... Oh, and we find the Volibear.
Oh, come on! The biggest unit in the entire deck. Volibear imposing. So that's +3 on the defense. And if we see Tog even try and gain points from going to the other battlefield, they'll also be giving Big Ben an additional draw. This is nightmarish. I think Big Ben got everything he needs right now.
And you know what's worse? Since Aurora is already on the board, you can just get Mind Splitter back with Pack of Wonders, and Tok won't be able to kill him since Volibear is a tank and has to be assigned damage first.
Alright. I mean, based on what we can see in hand from Tok, we've got pretty much the same stuff in hand that we've got on board, so I mean, we're just waiting for the possession to come through at this point to put the final notes in here. Again, so just a reminder of what the possession does. You choose any enemy unit at the battlefield, you take control of it, put it back into your base, and then you just get to play with it from that point forwards. I mean, I don't see that Tog's got anything that's remotely on the power level of what Big Ben's presenting right now.
The question is, does Tok have enough manpower in his deck, in his board, right now to get those 3 points before Big Ben completely spams him with Volibears, Soul Gorges, etc. Because we now do see 3 units with this big set coming in, but the problem is that Tok would have really liked here to draw into one of his Call to Glories. Because that's what actually might have won him the trade, since Call to Glory would have give +3, for example, to the sets. Maybe you take +4 from the buff. You could have just done a lot, but we do see that Tok will just come for yet another point from the second battlefield, and I think Tok's strategy here will actually be to play as much units as he can, maybe to one battlefield, to maybe try and hold for the 8th point. Now quite a nice play to try and buff the sets as much as he can, of course, getting the points from Obelisk and putting the set back from the first mates. But we do see 3 more runes being available, so Tok is still eligible to play another first mate, buff ready his set one more time, spend the buff to get 13, and at least trade the Volibear, and then. But the problem is that you won't have a buff there. It's a really tough spot, and it's a shame for Tok that. Big Ben was able to throw another set from the Mind Splitter, because having 2 sets here would have been much, much better. We do see that also you can have +1 from the Daring Power from Assault, so could have been 13, but it will be just a pass from Tok. It's just not enough yet, and I do think we will see the combo with maybe even a double buff, but after you use the Kinko Monk to buff set again.
I mean, it's all the pieces of a nightmarish combo under any other circumstance being put together. She said we've got the chance to bounce in and out grab points sneakily, but we will be having the Aurora kicking it off here again. Oh, interesting. So we'll go for a challenge looking to try and strip out some of the options here and force Tog to make the save a little earlier than they would have liked.
And it's a huge hit coming from the Big Ben side because... Oh, and now we're actually doing this. We are doing the combo that we are talking about. We are replaying the Mind Splitter and throwing away the Kinko Monk. And I think that might be the point of the game when Big Ben just takes control completely and even is able to win. I mean, of course, still Tok has one line of strategy, and this line, of course, being putting everything that he has on Obelisk of Power, getting the points number 7, and hoping for life that Big Ben just cannot do anything with all of the units being there. But the problem is that we're still having Pack of Wonders, with Misfortune being able to provide ganking to Volibear, and with 2 Dead Blooms in hands. It might be it.
Oh my gosh.
And of course with another Dazzling Aurora coming this turn from Big Ben.
Alright, Tog. I mean, this is kind of, there we go. So the Aurora comes in. Anything ridiculous? Anything at all? No.
Anything? Oh,
okay, there we go. The Dead Bloom comes out. So yes, worth noting that the Dazzling Aurora can't miss versus other similar kind of card effects and other similar kind of card games. You will get something. In this case, it ended up being one of the bigger cards in the deck. So we've got one site, the Zorn Warrens, completely locked down from here to forever. But the other site is still wide open. We've got the Dead Blooms in hand, but they can only be played directly to an occupied enemy battlefield.
But now with the Dead Bloom coming in, we are almost sure that Tok does not have enough to conquer the Zone Warrens. I mean, Carnivus from the top deck, but all of the cards thrown away from Mind Splitter are just too painful. Another set, the Kinko Monk, and now we see the gameplay the game plan that we are talking about. Tok just coming with everything he has, the Obelisk of Power.
I believe the phrase is everything.
One turn.
Everything.
Okay, we will see a Kiana coming there. So it's now, wait, let me see. It's 4, 7, 9, 11, 16, 19 might being there.
So we can't put both of the Dead Blooms down I presume we can't put both of the Dead Blooms down at the same time into the Obelisk of Power. So this actually might be a problem.
Let's see what Ben will do about this one. We still do have possession in hands. But the problem is, will it be enough?
That brings
Honestly,
out...
I don't know if being Ben, I didn't like ganking with anything to the other side just to trade a bit, because it was being kind of clear that Tok would be going for this kind of play to save this game.
Okay.
Oh, and also, yeah, the draw coming from the fact that if you move the unit to other battlefields than the one with the Volibear, the one that controls the Volibear will be drawing cards.
Yes.
It will be a mind splitter. Oh.
Okay, so let's run the numbers here. So Dreadbloom, we've got 2 of them in hand. They are 8 power each. They're only going to be able to afford to play 1 of them. So Possession is also very expensive as well with 8 and 3. So we can only really do 1 of these. And remember, Tog is on 7 at the moment, so just needs to hold the battlefield.
The problem is that you would have need to draw into any of your spells. Bullet Time, Gust, Fighter Flights, another challenge. Honestly, anything would have gave you a chance to just go with the Deadbloom and with the Volibear. Or with just Volibear, but clearing everything between. I do think that Big Bet might just not have enough, because Soul Volibear, with the help of the Deadbloom, is just 1 might away from doing this, since Volibear is only getting additional might as a defender.
So, I'm just trying to figure out if Possession, the way that Possession is going to work here. So, well, if it's...
I don't think the Possession is
working
working here, since you... Okay, we will be going with the draw, hoping that you can actually find anything. A Gust! Oh, it's a very nice catch here, but the problem is you don't really have much more coming from your way. So we'll draw into another card, and it's another Gust!
Come on, what?
Okay,
so 2 Gusts.
I still don't think it might be enough, because you will Gust 2 times and it still will be 13, but you used your spur runes that you would have used on playing Deadbloom, and it still might not be enough, since the highest might combo that you were putting there was still a Volibear coming in with the Deadbloom. Okay, we're going to do this one more time. Bullet Time is needed. The Soul Gorger is not the card that we are looking for in this spot. Bullet Time, Challenge, or anything like that would have been much, much better. And I do think that it might be the game.
Yeah, Bullet Time would have been absolutely nightmarish, but gosh, we got so excited about seeing some big chunky units. We will have the Volibear heading across there. Oh, did we miss that one? Okay, and I think we are pretty much... Oh, that's right, yes, of course we missed the MF giving the Volibear ganking.
Yeah, no. This was the one thing that I was talking about. The Volibear coming with both. Okay, I do think that is a concession coming from Talk. From Big Ben. I counted for the fact that Volibear had ganking, but I do think the biggest misplay coming from Ben here was the fact that he did not use ganking on Mind Splitter a turn earlier. That he went greedy with the Mind Splitter, because if he actually put Mind Splitter on the other side, you were forcing your opponent to either come to the Volibear. I mean, you were still going to play the unit from Aurora to the Volibear just to keep him more safe and just to hold this battlefield. But if you would have put this Mind Splitter, it would have been crucial. I think that Big Ben just miscalculated a bit how much might actually Tok would have had on this battlefield, and he didn't consider for the fact that Tok had 6 points already. And the biggest play from Tok, actually, besides the fact that he recycled lots of runes just for the sake of keeping the tempo, I think the most impactful play of the game was the fact that Tog did this one trick with going in with the set and going back with the first mate to get a point, but also get a setback.
No, I really like that as well. Just a quick word about, of course, the sideboards coming here. You were noting, that we've got a lot of what we would be expecting coming here. We didn't get a chance to talk about Big Ben's sideboard. Anything in here that's leaping out to you?
Not for this matchup, but of course, Fury of Blades being a fantastic response, for example, to Victor. But also Fury of the Blades, if it were in the hands in this last turn, it also would have given, maybe not the game, but also would have given the opportunity to play this to the further extent, because it would have just cleared all of the units, the Dead Bloom. Oh no, it still would not be enough. And you know why? Because Big Ben had exactly 8 runes, so he wouldn't play both both Fury of Blades and Dead Bloom. But with Gast, okay, it maybe would have made the game a bit longer, but I still think that just the fact that Big Ben was not able to draw fast enough to the combo Pack of Wonders and Treasure Trove, and any of his 3 stacked decks being here, I think it was the most crucial part of the fact that he was not able to gain tempo fast enough to spam Tog with units.
Well, let's get started for game number 2 of our second series of the day. And what's that in Big Ben's hand from the very beginning of the game? The reassurance that you have got what you need, maybe a little ahead of schedule, but you know where that Dazzling Aurora is.
And we do see Big Ben mobilize the first turn, and now we do have once again one part of the combo, the Treasure Trove, coming in. The problem is that this time you're actually missing the Pack of Wonders.
Yes. I mean, I wonder if in this case you might just use the effects just to, to knock out the Treasure Trove by itself and not combo it off endlessly. Just because you know that Tog, as we can see here, is so enthusiastic to be able to throw out his units onto the field with as much speed as possible and get control of the first one. Actually, I suppose it's worth us mentioning, Monastery of Harada coming in here for this game. That's the spend a buff to draw 1. On the other side, the Aspirant's Climb. Increase the points needed to win the game by 1, which of course makes a lot of sense when you're trying to build out the absolute crazy board of Mystery and Legend.
And now we do see a Sabotage coming in.
Oh my gosh! To go from the highest heights to the lowest lows, just like that.
And I wanted to talk about the fact that Big Ben had a great combo of accelerating runes with Dazzling Aurora already in the hands. But now, the killer, the Sabotage coming in, completely destroying the plan. Of course, it's not discarding the Aurora, it's just recycling it, but it's just as bad for Big Ben here, as he's stuck with only Confront and Dead Bloom Predator, and with Tog having 2 another first mates being ready to ready another unit. It's 2-0, and even the fact that this one particular game we're playing to the 9 and not 8 points still might be not enough. The combo of playing Cynthia for the draw of the cards might be fantastic, because what Tog can do here to keep as much cards as he wants, he's putting back Cynthia, and he can now ready her once more.
Yeah, she gets the free buff, which we can cash in for another card as well.
I mean, not this turn, because even if you went back with the Cynthia, you still wouldn't get to draw the card, since you only couldn't do that when you conquer, and you cannot conquer a battlefield that you were holding at the start of the turn. But still a very nice line of play from Tog, keeping all of the units in base, still holding to the 3 points, and with Big Ben not really having much. Okay, that's another Confront. You do also have a Dead Bloom, another draw coming in. We do see a Gust. Gust is not what we are looking for. We do have every resource that we wanted, but we're missing 2 crucial parts. The Pack of Wonders, and the most important one, Dazzling Aurora. Sabotage is a fantastic way. We're not talking about this card enough. It's not even the side deck. It's 3 copies of the spell being in the main deck of Tog. I do think that also Sabotage is in Ben's misfortune, but this one is in the side deck, not really being this useful in this matchup since SETT is mostly relying on the units.
Alright, so 3 points to Tog, 0 to Big Ben. Of course, Big Ben has all the runes in the world. And Tog has so much waiting at base to go, so we were back in, we were to trade out the buff for another card. If they choose, go up to 5 as of this round, and I mean, we've got some amount of answer from Big Ben's side of things, and then we've got the double dead
and I'm
Predator.
not a fan of Gust here.
Ooh, interesting.
Sorry to interrupt you, but I'm not really a fan of Gust here because, okay, I mean, you're not really thinking about another first mate coming in, but why I'm not a fan of the Gust? Because you see that if Tok wanted to, he can just put yet another unit on the on the battlefield. He does have lots of units ready to go, and I don't think that using Gust in this spot was really it. I mean, it's still a very tough spot for the Big Ben, but we did see that things like Gust were really needed at the late game when Ben actually started throwing out the big guys. And the fact that he didn't really have any spells was crucial to the fact that Big Ben was not able to get the win in the first game.
Yeah, well, when we've got such a combo-centric deck being able to disrupt, it's amazing. If we've got another Sabotage, it's worth noting that for Tog, they've had 3 Sabotages main decked this entire series so far, so in this case we can see there's actually nothing in the hand for Sabotage to grab, but the damage has already been done. There's the bullet time that was evading Big Ben the entirety of the previous game, which could absolutely rip through everything.
It might be yet another fantastic target for the Sabotage.
Oh, of course, you're right. Yes, it's only when it's on the battlefield, so it's going to get sabotaged out of hands. We've got 3. Every one of the Dead Bloom Predators in the deck is now in hands for Big Ben.
Oh, that's a really tragic draw. And now... Oh, and we do also have a SETT ready that can just spend his buff. And we do also have a Kinko Monk or Pit Rookie being able to buff yet another time. And the Sabotage coming in and the bullet time going out. Oh, it's not really a good game coming for the Ben. And one more time, Ben, just to remind you, recycle, not discard, but it's just as bad since it's going straight to the bottom of the deck. And without the Dazzling Aurora, you're not able to go through the cards this fast. Oh, it is tragic, since getting a hold of this Deadbloom Predator, getting back the Monastery of Hirana should not be a problem. I do think that we will see a Pit Rookie coming in for 2, giving another buff to the set. Oh, it's a Showstopper! Also with a buff. And with a whole force going straight for the point number 7.
Alright, that's 1 Dead Bloom down. I suppose the good news for Big Ben is there's more where that one came from, but yeah, it feels like Tog, 7 points to 1, has got everything they could ask for. I think even being able to pull the Aurora off the top would not be remotely quick enough to make a difference.
Okay, I do think that is quite interesting. I do think about the interaction that I was talking about, the one with the sets, Hirana, and the buff. This case was a bit different, since we used the Showstopper that moves you, but it still was Conga. Okay, the chronology of things like that is really the hard part of the game. But also a really nice creative play coming from Tog, because we used our Showstopper, so we moved ready set to the battlefield, so we could have conquered and put the set back. And I do think that it might be a concession coming from Ben. Yeah, looking for absolutely anything. Oh, where are the Dazzling Auroras? 9, 10. We cannot see.
They must have been side decked out. I think that's what it must be. You just put one of them on top of the deck. There you go. That's all you needed for the game. Oh my gosh. Tog, wow. That was a whole different story from what we saw before. And a blistering show there. Jeez. I think I would be traumatized with that one for quite a while.
The Sabotage for the win, the very brutal cards coming from Talk, and the fantastic keep of the tempo. And without Dazzling Aurora, with most of the cards from Ben's hand being Mobilizers and Catalysts, without Aurora, Misfortune is just nothing. Ben gambled here, and Talk just had much better hand. Talk had some aces and Sabotage up his sleeve, and even the fact that he needed to win for 9 and not 8 points was not really a key part here. Complete stomp of the second game, 9-1, and Talk going for the 2-0 records.
Alright, gentle friends, well that means that this particular night of Riftlab Clash number 4 is halfway done. We're going to be handing off the reins for the third and fourth cast to Orbital and Silent Knight. We're looking to start approximately, if going by schedule, at the half-past side of things for our third and fourth round, so it's possible things might get a little bit accelerated, so do stick around. As soon as we've got that third round ready for you, we'll be bringing it to you live back on broadcast. But for now, thank you guys so much for sticking with us, and we'll see you all after the break.